next point. Why is it so hard to forgive? Like for you, Beast, why is it so hard for you to forgive?
Because if you put me in that position where, if I let you be in that position where you can hurt me, then it is hard to forgive because I don't let everybody in.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I've let you, given you my time, my energy, my trust, my loyalty, my love, you know, whether it be in a relationship or a friendship, if I've given you the time and put you in a place where you can do that, and then you betray my trust, my loyalty, you know, hurt my feelings, whatever the case be, then not only do I feel stupid for letting you do that, but I'm pissed because...
Because at one point in time, I really did think that I made the situation about me. I was trying to validate what I said was right versus just listening to the person and let them vent and learning to ask the right questions that allow that person to fix it themselves.
Roll me, Mac.
Why do you think we tend to believe we are so different than everyone else when it comes to shortcomings in life?
One word, and you hear it quite often on this show: ego. Ego, my understanding of ego based off of what's taught in like mental health, spirituality, and all that, you know, especially like one of my mentors, Eckhart Tolle, speaks about is whenever you feel like you're not enough, the ego is driving the car. We tend to think that our problems are not like everybody else's. And in a sense, yes, you know, we have our own, everybody's got their own share of problems, but nobody's problems is more important than the other. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you just have to embrace it. I mean, and it's really our view on said problem that makes us feel the way that we feel about it. Like, it's not the event itself, it's our thought on the event. It could just be an event and we just let it go through. But in most cases, we've been programmed that we need to respond this way in anger, we need to respond this way in happiness, we need to respond this way in sadness when this event technically happens. But we really can just be indifferent on things that happen and try to figure out how we can move forward from this situation. It's not the first time we felt anger. It's not the first time we felt sadness. It's not the first time we felt happy about something, mad, and somehow or another you persevered. You moved on. Most of us do. Sometimes we get stuck. I know I spent years being stuck in the past, and being stuck with my ego and trying to right all the wrongs and making everything else and everybody else's moves about me. Ego, like really, really sitting in on my ego. And it's something that it takes time to learn. And then once you really understand it, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're able to grasp what people have been trying to tell you, like in whether it be psychology, mental health therapy, spirituality, just people you know that care about you, when they try to kick game to you and you're sometimes you're not ready to receive that truth. You know what I'm saying? It has to be realized, and it can't just be told to you. It has to be realized. So it's not to say that that person was wrong. It's just a perspective at the time. You didn't really value it. And then once you get older, it's like our parents. I mean, I'm sure our parents try to tell us a whole lot of shit that they've seen miles ahead, you know, before we even get there. And then we get older and it's like, oh, okay. That's what mom was talking about. That's what pop was talking about. That's what whoever, grandma, big mama, granddaddy, anybody that wanted to drop a gem on you and you weren't ready to receive it, a teacher, you know what I'm saying? It's just waiting for that to connect and where you are in life. And so when I look at our shortcomings, when it happens, some of us didn't have the proper, I want to say, education on how to deal with issues when they happen. So shame was used. So anytime we get into shit, we feel like that same little child. You know what I'm saying? Like we feel like we've done something wrong per se. That inner child, that same child that was shamed comes out. I'm not good enough, so I got to become something. I have to create something, a super ego, to counteract what was just done, because I'm not worthy of love. So I have to be something else. I have to create something else in order to receive love and get that validation from whoever the target validator is, whether it be your parents, whether it be your friends, whether it be your coworkers, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, whatever the case is. Like your target validator, you're going to become whatever it takes to get that love, because we all do it for love. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just innately in us to try to go and get love because we're still children. You know what I mean? Like we could be 50, 60, 70, and some of us are still doing shit to receive validation, a form of love. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have, and the thing is that we don't have to. You don't owe anybody shit. Nothing. You owe no one any fucking thing. Not one person on this earth is entitled to anything from you. You know what I'm saying? It'd be helpful for you to obviously help your child, you know what I'm saying, so that you can guide them in which they, are to be. But you don't owe them anything. You don't owe your children anything. Your children don't owe you shit, number one. They didn't ask to be here. For some of us that grew up in systems where you've been made to feel like you owe, I carried you for 9 months, you owe me. No, you chose to fuck, okay? So that's why we're here. But you have a responsibility as far as like taking care of a child, being that I am your child. But it doesn't necessarily mean that I owe you anything. You know what I mean? A parent to child love can be seen and perceived as unconditional love, the type of love that anyone would benefit from in this life. But in most cases, we love with conditions. And in other cases, most of us come from parenting systems where we were loved with condition. You know what I mean? So it goes back to, I'm not good enough. So back to my shortcomings. Anytime I fuck up, I'm back in the household where I was chastised, where I was shamed, and I was guilted for what was done to me. You know what I'm saying? For what I supposedly did, that I didn't get the approval. And it had to be like, almost like again, positive reinforcement, and how we train dogs, unfortunately, which is crazy. You know, it's like, I'm not gonna give you love unless you do what I want you to do. So what do you intend to do? You grow up becoming a people pleaser just to receive love that you already have. How crazy is that, right? Like you literally become this person that's willing to do whatever it takes to get this love from this particular person, as if their love is more important than yours. No, they're just as human as you are. You know what I mean? Like, I like to, when I catch friends trying to people please and do, you know what I'm saying, like try to pull that people pleasing shit with me, I'm like, I'm just as human as you are. Nah, we good. No. What do you want? What do you want to do? What is it that you want to say? You know what I'm saying? I would rather learn how to love you, you know what I'm saying, through your shortcomings, you know what I'm saying, without projecting insecurities on me. God damn it. That's one thing though. You know what I'm saying? I'll learn to love you, but I'm not going to let you make your problems my problems type thing. You know what I'm saying? Like once you want me to fix it, I can listen. Listening is fine. That's a therapist. You know what I'm saying? Like a therapist is not going to change your marriage. You know what I'm saying? It's you who is going to do it once you decide to take the lessons and like process what is being done within therapy. That's going to help you be a better person for your marriage, and vice versa with your mate and all that stuff. But like being able to just listen and learn to love a person through their shortcomings. We fear that if we show the raw sides of us, that people are going to run, because it's been done before. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of us giving and believing that we're going to receive conditional love. And I believe all of us are guilty of it, but at some point in time, you're going to face the music and you're just going to be like, hey, listen, this is me. I have demons. Yes, I do kind things for people, but you know what? I also have some darkness that I've been battling since I was a child. And it might not be for you. You might not take what the fuck I have to say out of my mouth. If you knew everything I did in my life, would you still feel the way that you feel about me? That is the difference between conditional love and unconditional love. Because when I look at like my kid, she doesn't do everything without fault, but I love her unconditionally. You know what I'm saying? Like there's nothing that my kid's going to do that is going to waver this covenant, this love that I have for her. You know what I'm saying? And that is, to me, that is what I've been looking for my entire life. You know what I'm saying? More than likely, all the people pleasing, all the characters I created, all the avatars I've created that has led to depression. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to just sit firmly in your authenticity and you're going to grow every day. So don't hold on. I'm me. I'm just trying to be me. No, just sit in trying to be authentic in the present moment. Tomorrow might be different than how you feel today. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think that we tend to believe that our situation is so different than everybody else due to our ego. And we're used to, we're still a child in a sense because we think we make everything about us like most children do. When a child's parents get divorced at like 7 or 8, they think it's about them. Ain't got shit to do with them. So when it's the same thing when we become adults, like whenever that person does whatever, that person decides to leave or whatever, that person decides to break up with you, that person decides to move another job, that has nothing to do with you. Even if it's about you, it has nothing to do with you. It is more so them doing what is best for them, because love is about appreciation, not possession. You don't own that person as much as you might believe you do. You don't. Situations will arise to show how much ownership your ass has. You know what I'm saying? And then you're left there with the suffering because you have an attachment to that person possessively. You know what I'm saying? And I think we've all felt that shit. I think we've all dealt with that type of issue, and it's scary. It's scary to know that you could lose this or return this, rather. You know what I mean? And we get attached to these souls. We get attached to this energy, and it feels good. That shit feels great. So to know that it can be removed, it'll fuck you up if you allow it. But if you just practice gratitude, if you be appreciative for it while it's here, it flows better. You know what I'm saying? It's like being like water. You're flowing with the river. You know what I mean? And just taking each day is a separate life, and just taking it for that. That person might fuck with you on Monday and Wednesday not talk to you ever again. And it ain't got shit to do with you. So, like, when I look at shortcomings, and I know all over the fucking place, but with the you know what I'm saying? Like, we tend to make shit about us, but most of the time, it's not about us. But our egos will make it about us because we think that, everything revolves around us. It has nothing to do with us. Everybody's directing their own movie. And sometimes everybody don't make it to the end of the movie, So it's just learning to embrace what the fuck comes about in life. And I think that ultimately, like with this shortcoming question, it's really just about our ego. Our ego tends to make everything about us, and we all have issues. We all have our fair share of problems, and we all aren't going to be given anything that God in the universe did not believe we can get through. It was meant to teach. It came to teach. It did not come to stay. It came to teach and move on to something else. This is not the first problem, and it damn sure won't be the last. So ego is truly why I believe that we think our problems are different than everybody else's. What's the most important quality in a friend, in your opinion? The most important quality in a friend to me is a therapist. Unconditional love. When I come to you with something, no matter how fucked up it may make me look, and you just receive it. Not say that you don't give it, like obviously when advice is asked for, or if it's life-threatening that you obviously step in or something like that. But for the most part, you don't project you onto me. You know what I mean? Like, and it's tough. It's tough because when you're raised right and wrong, you have this innate reasoning to just blurt out what you feel is right versus just listening. That person came to you to vent. That person didn't come to you to fix their life. I mean, some people do. Don't get me wrong. There's some codependency, and some of us are raised to be codependent. We were raised to be our parents' parent. So it's not uncommon for us to try to step in and give a word of advice to someone. But I believe in this case, what makes an important quality of a friend is just unconditional love. Just to listen. When I fuck up, you don't see me any differently. When I share something that is downright scary on both ends, for you listening to it and me going through it, and you don't waver. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to, like, when you go through shit, you don't project you onto me. To me, that's what I've learned to be. That's the type of friend that I've been working towards being. Because at one point in time, I really did think that I made the situation about me. I was trying to validate what I said was right versus just listening to the person and let them vent. And learning to ask the right questions that allow that person to fix it themselves, essentially, But I believe that the important quality of a friend, yes, is unconditional love. It is listening. It is being emotionless. Like when someone's talking to you, like in your, it depends on your therapist, but I believe the most efficient therapist has no reaction. They really just listen. Be like, yeah, I just shot 2 guys. Okay, why'd you do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously it's exaggeration, but I'm just making a point that when someone comes to share something with you, it's beneficial to the person to help them remove the suffering just by listening and not having an opinion unless they ask for it. Literally just listen. That's all. And another important quality of a friend is saying what you mean and meaning what you say. If I tell you I'm going to show up and I don't show up, then what does my word mean? You know what I mean? And if I tell you that I'm not able to make it when you ask me for something, I'm not going to hold this over you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to hold you up in a sense that you're hoping that I make it. No, if I know that I'm not going to make this particular commitment, I'm not going to do it. That's a boundary. You know what I'm saying? It's a healthy boundary. You know what I mean? And I'm not able to worry about how that makes you feel. I'm not responsible for how you feel. You are. You know what I mean? Same, vice versa. I might want you to spend this whatever time with me. You might not be able to do so. Might I throw a tantrum? When I throw a tantrum, I'm expecting you to be responsible for my insecurities, for my emotions, for my feelings. Now, codependency is here. Now, if you submit to that and you try to people please, it's never going to end. You know what I'm saying? It's never going to end. It's just going to be, you're going to be somebody's parent. You're going to be somebody's parent. Anger is a choice response. It is. Anger is a choice response. So, I mean, it's what I believe. You know, whatever anybody else believe, your belief system ain't got shit to do with mine. This is my belief system, okay? So I truly believe in my system that anger is a choice response. And I have to catch myself because some of like my old wiring that I've suppressed and buried, connected to people that I loved very dearly, comes out when I meet, you know, this form of love, right? That you're afraid to lose. And all of that toxicity, that toxic behavior that you once gave, that you were allowed to give to this parent, now comes out with these people that you value, that you have this fear of losing them. And that's not fair to them. So one quality of a friend is being able to sort out your own shit, but being able to listen to another person's shit without making it yours. You know what I'm saying? Like, just listening. There's no harm. I don't find harm in just listening to somebody. You know what I'm saying? Tell about what happened. But ask the right questions to allow them to think. And they can sort that out for themselves. Now, if they're looking for you to, again, to solve the case, you have to tell them you're not assigned to this case. You're in another unit. You're in the me unit. I gotta fix my own shit. You know what I'm saying? But it's just about listening. And it's not about necessarily having the right answers. It's about it's about asking the most efficient question. That's another quality of being a quality friend to me in my mind, is asking the most appropriate question at the time, which will allow you to answer it yourself versus trying to project you onto it. You know what I mean? So I look at those quality traits in what I deem to be like what makes a great friend. So essentially being a therapist, yes. In a sense of, and what I mean by being a therapist, because it takes years and years to become that. I don't want to come off as if it's just, you know, you can just decide to be. It's not like this new age shit where I'm a girl. I believe I identify as a girl. It's not how it works. You know what I mean? Like, it's schooling that goes to being a therapist, but in a sense of how stoic a therapist can be, just listening. You know what I mean? Allowing you to remove the suffering. To me, that's why therapy feels so fucking good, because the suffering gets removed and I'm not judged. And that's another thing, you know, again, not judging the people that you value. Not believing that you're so right in your life that you can place judgment or guilt upon someone. It's not for you to do so. You know what I mean? It's just for you to listen. That's really it. Unconditional love, working on just listening without an emotional response, because that can trigger some shit in people. It can trigger shame, and if I have an emotional response to something you share with me, you may not want to share that with me again. So I do my best to not respond emotionally. It's not perfect by any means, but I do my best to remain stoic, calm as a friend. But in my mind, those are the qualities that make a friend, a beneficial person in my life, being a compliment and not a complication. Would you ever share clothes with a significant other? She can wear my shirt, sweater, you know what I'm saying? That's fine. Now, as far as that matching shit, I'm not really a fan of that shit. As far as us wearing the same clothes. Now, we go into like a football game and she want to wear like, she ain't into football. She want to wear a Niner jersey. I got 2 Niner jerseys. Cool, whatever. That matching pajama shit for Christmas, I'm not really, I'm not really much into such. I don't know. I just don't care too much for it. But as far as like, yeah, again, wanted to wear my shirt, wanted to wear my hat, or you know what I'm saying, especially like during intercourse. It's sexy at times, you know what I'm saying? But like the concept of just, you know, being around the house and wanting to wear something, you know, just wanting to wear a shirt and whatnot. That's fine. I'm cool with that. Especially if she's sitting, you know, like them legs are right, titties is right type thing. You feel me? It looks good in the shirt. So again, the female anatomy is a wondrous thing. It can be very mesmerizing. So it's like mastering your mind, your emotions over what you see, because it can really fuck with you. But sharing clothes with a significant other, like I said, I'm not opposed to it. So yeah, I would share clothes with a significant other. Now, I'm not wearing her shit. You know what I mean? You're not gonna walk in and catch me as Bruce. Yeah, you're not gonna walk in and have a Bruce Jenner moment with me. Hey boo, I got on your bra. No, that's not going to happen. You know what I'm saying? But as far as her wearing like hats, sweatshirts, coats, whatever, shit like that, yeah, that's cool. I'm okay with that. What's the drug addiction of choice that you found to be the most challenging of all in your life? I would probably, from video games as a kid to sugar to salt to porn, to making it, you know, just trying to make it in life, becoming a superstar, what have you. I would say the drug that has been the most addictive to me would be love. Yeah. And love from an egoic standpoint. Because, as mentioned before, you have all the love that you need in you already. But that egoic love of just being the guy, just being the greatest whatever, which is all rooted in conditional love. You know what I'm saying? That you felt was given, and feeling like you're not enough. So like that drug of like I have to be there for everybody. I have to be there to show up for this. I have to do these things. And then you forget to love yourself. The place that you already had love in, you're not worried about home. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't set the alarm. You didn't protect yourself. You left the house to go and tend to everybody else's fires at their house. But your house is on fire. And you're attempting to be there for everybody while your house is still burning. You know what I mean? And that love, it's like I would rather put out their fires than put out my own. And, you know, and I take that from Thich Nhat Hanh's fable in How to Fight. This little ass book you can get on Amazon for like $10. But it talks about putting out your own fire. And a lot, I know for sure that I would be more inclined to put out somebody else's fire to prove my worthiness, to prove that I'm lovable, than put out my own fire knowing that I'm loved already. And that is where the chaos ensues in the mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why wasn't I enough for them? Why wasn't I good enough? That love. And so it's like, all right, so now I gotta come back even harder. I gotta push even harder to become the best son ever, the best father ever. This, so I can be revered, exalted. You know what I'm saying? Like, egoic, pure ego. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that love. It's an addiction. It's a wild addiction. You never get enough of it. You never do. I'm trying to be whatever. Working to be the best thing instead of just being. When you sit with yourself, you process your thoughts, and you understand what it means to just be a human being. It's about being, you know what I'm saying? Like, being in the present moment and not getting lost in your thoughts. Like, man, if I do this, then I'll be... You don't control the love that you receive. You only control the love that you give. Because the only love that you can control is the one that you give. I mean, you think about it. How many of us have done great things and thought that we were going to be revered for it, when those people might be insecure and we might have made some people feel insecure for trying to work on better ourselves, and they didn't respond the way we thought they would. And these are your parents. You know what I'm saying? You don't know the insecurities that they're battling, and you coming off like so successful, or, you know what I'm saying, wanting to be better than what you believe that you came from. That could be taken as, oh, what we did wasn't good enough. And it's all perspective. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it doesn't necessarily mean it's not law. It's not law. It's just merely a perspective. It's like looking at a picture. You might see a wolf playing in the moon. You know what I'm saying? I might see the moon looking at the wolf. You know what I mean? It's like, we're not wrong. We just have different viewpoints on this picture. And if I hone in on this particular idea that I have of what this picture is, then I could very well be holding on to a negative viewpoint of this picture versus looking at various perspectives that will innately show me how I'm feeling at the time. You know what I mean? Like, it's not the event, it's our thoughts on the event that fuck us up or make us feel amazing. So indifference is a superpower. It really is. It's really like it's truly a superpower. So that love of just trying to obtain being the greatest whatever, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to be. Why? You don't have to be the greatest anything. You don't have to be the greatest mom. You don't have to be the greatest father. You don't have to be the greatest son, greatest daughter, greatest brother, sister, cousin. You name the label, fuck the label. Just be. You know what I mean? Like, do your best to be present in the moment with the people that you value. When you realize that nothing anyone does is about you and you're not that important, life becomes so much simpler. But anytime you think you're more than human, you make it about you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's recognizing that we're just human beings. That's it. Human beings. A lot of people get caught up in their ego, and some people that fall for the allure of that ego. I mean, we see it all the time with celebrities and how people worship celebrities. Like, they know more about a celebrity's personal life than their own. And it's like, why? Why would we be programmed that these people are more important than my own life? They're just as human as we are. They just chose a different path. and they'd have more money. You know what I'm saying? And that's perceived like money. Having more money is perceived that can be perceived that you're happier than I am because I don't have money. And I find that that's not necessarily always the case, because there's millionaires that commit suicide, and there's people that make $10 an hour and get 30 hours a week that are just grateful for what they have. You know what I'm saying? And I think the difference is just the gratitude. And I know that drug of choice of mine, that love, it was due to lack of gratitude. For a lot of things, I was never happy with just what I had. I was constantly trying to find the next thing because I never felt like I was enough. And and never getting satisfied. I mean, don't get me wrong, I still strive to expand myself, especially with knowledge, you know what I mean? But it's recognizing that you're enough. And that drug will leave you down a very interesting path in life when you realize that you were enough the whole time. I don't care who you are. Everybody watching this, myself included, you were enough from the start. You were. And something came along and you believed the agreement, as Don Miguel Ruiz says, something came along and you agreed that what they knew was more important than what you knew. And you believed that you weren't enough. So you decided to become enough. And it's led some of us on a very wayward path. But we have more than enough to be grateful for. That is what life has certainly taught me. No matter the family that you come from, be very grateful for what you have, for the time that you have with whoever you value. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, protect your peace and remain away. Keep yourself away from toxicity. But we have what we need. And we have more than enough to be grateful for. But that love, that drug, that love, the egoic love is the drug that has probably been the most challenging for me. And it's just feeling, it's the mindset that you're in this alone. You know what I'm saying? Like the path that you're on, the goals that you're going after, these are your ideas. This is your vision. So it can feel like you're alone at times, and in a lot of cases you are, because only you know what you want to do with your life and the vision that you have for your life. So there's going to be a lot of things thrown your way to see how bad you want this shit. And when you struggle with that love, you know what I'm saying, feeling like you're enough and you want to get that high, you'll do just about anything to receive that high. And that can be the distraction. My favorite line in All Eyes on Me, Tupac movie, what Afeni says to Pac is like, they're gonna give you the tools you need to destroy yourself. And it's being very cognizant of those things, so you can get caught up in trying to just be validated, trying to feel love. So yeah, that egoic love, because the love that you have is enough. But that love that you feel like you don't have, the external love is it's powerful, man. It's powerful. I won't lie. It's just, I want to say it's definitely been a challenge for me throughout my entire life. But practicing gratitude, practicing unconditional love, practicing that people are human, and giving grace to individuals who know not what they do. That has been the kicker. That has been the change for me, becoming, I want to say, a better spirit, the most efficient spirit I can be, while still dealing with my own demons within, and, heal to reveal. So if I had to talk about a drug or an addiction that's been the most challenging over the course of my life, it's definitely egoic love. How do you show love? In many ways. I show love by allowing a person to find themselves without me telling them anything about themselves. I show love by listening. I show love by showing up, being reliable. I show love by being confidential. I show love by not being judgmental. To the best of my ability, that is. I show love by having grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, definitely having grace. I show love by being a protector to those that I value. You know what I'm saying? I show love by showing healthy boundaries too. That's my way of loving you and myself at the same time. I show love by being expressive with my words. Being able to expound on a particular moment that occurred between me and this individual, and creating vivid imagery from those words is how I show love. I show love by remembering dates, remembering attires. You know what I'm saying? I show love by admitting fault, admitting my shortcomings. I show love by being in the moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I show love by forgiveness. Yeah, I show love by forgiveness. I show love cooking. I can show love by cooking. And I love the hell out of you with that, because I gets down in the kitchen. I show love by sharing my story and allowing people to heal from said story. I shed love by creating something that wasn't there that will impact lives further down the road. You know what I'm saying? Like, to have that, like, to create, like, to go to a job that does not have any morale boosters, events or anything like that, by creating one based off of what I saw done when I didn't know any better my damn self, and to that become a thing. That is my way of showing love. Showing love by teaching how to love unconditionally to the best of my ability. To be there for those younger than me in a way that what I needed when I was that age. To show kindness. At the same time, show firmness and resilience. To garner respect and not be a pushover. Show love by dedicating to those that are no longer with us, right? I mean, there's so many ways that I would say that I show love. I show love by dedicating my life to being an almanac for those that I value, for wisdom, knowledge, mistakes, mainly. Learn from those. Learn from the mistakes of others, you know what I'm saying, as much as you can. So using that, being someone who is vulnerable enough to share shit that they've gone through, their perspectives as they went through them, and how they looked at them differently later on. And then being able to admit that they looked at it from a negative standpoint at one point in time versus the one that was going to be beneficial for you. I believe there's many ways. Many more ways that I show love, but those are the ones that come to mind off the dome. But just grateful to love in the ways that I'm able to. That's the only love that I can't control. I'm not able to control the love that I receive, as much as my ego wants to believe that. But nevertheless, that's how I show love. And that is it. Good night, kids.